finances can come in and be useful. There is also a tendency worldwide to now deal with the energy question, the climate change and the impact, and therefore there is a huge stress on alternative sources of energy. In any case, oil and gas, particularly crude, the focus now is not so much discovering new fields, but secondary recovery, trying to squeeze out what little we have. Expensive projects like oil from coal and tar, sands. Therefore, one has to look at these alternate possibilities, and Indian companies, new entrepreneurial ventures, are well placed to be part of it. Mr. Tanti and his Suzlon is a start, Mosaber making equipment, and there are three slogans that came out of the Canada-India Energy Forum. First is clean coal energy. Coal will continue to be part of the energy. Fossil fuels will continue to be 50% or thereabouts of energy for India, even more for Australia. Therefore, the challenge there is to make sure that we make these energy sources cleaner and cleaner and invest in that kind of research and technology. In India, we've been debating for a long time, but now we have the funds and the will and the need to act in things like coal beneficiation, peak-head generation, other kinds of technologies that are coming up, and the Canadians are much powerful in this area. The second is safe nuclear energy. This new agreement that the government has signed, which is one of the causes for the fall of the previous government, 123 with the US. There's a remarkable negotiation through nuclear supply group of 30 countries. Now is the time, and you can see the movement taking place. L&T and GE Hitachi jointly planning to manufacture nuclear equipment, and their safety will be the issue. The third, on renewable, the slogan now is affordable renewable energy. The problem there is the high cost of the solar panels, collecting the energy, and even now questions are being raised about what it will do to the aesthetics of the environment if we put up so many windmills and solar panels. I'm sure that research and technology will deal with some of these problems. Let me now come to the management consulting needs of these three kinds of organizations. For continuing management, the primary challenge is resuming growth. They were growing, they were ready to grow, they had built up their organizational capacity, their investment capacity. Some of it is underutilized in the last 18 months because of the global crisis, and now the inventories are run down. There is every indication that from September this year, the Indian economy will resume its industrial growth rate, and the monsoon being equally good, that 7% forecast is quite plausible in the second half of this year, and it will come up even more. So in these companies, they are the first ones who can gear up quickly to go for the 8% next year and the 9% in the third year from now. And they are the ones which are the first target for consulting inputs. They have deferred their investment, but the investment plans are there. The stock market was short of funds and liquidity. We now expect a whole series of IPOs to come into the market and be able to raise funds, and companies can also issue rent shares. So there is increasing availability of bank credit as well. There was a problem, although the Reserve Bank of India reduced the interest rates and banks had liquidity, there were no takers for the loans. And it is not the banks didn't want to lend, and now corporate sector will have a higher level of enthusiasm to lend. We will see a budget in July which will give an indication of the policy direction. The resuming growth would need their ability to complete projects which are midway, so project management and completion, commissioning of those projects quickly, and re-gearing their sales and marketing organizations. They were allowing more through the distribution channels the business to take place. In all these things, recessions, there are three things that get cut quickly: advertising, training, and R&D expenditure, as we all know. Now they will be able to resume these activities. They will also step up their recruitment of talent. They may have temporarily used this opportunity, which should have been done even in a normal year, in a healthy economy, but because of our population, joblessness, Indian managements have been under some constraint. But during this recession, they've been justified in raising the issue of performance, making a distinction between high and low performance, and let people go at the margin, and even the associations and unions have agreed. In many cases, associations have agreed that there will be no increment in salary, so have the directors as well in the Indian context. They will now need to pick up their manpower resources. The relationship with their dealers and vendors will have to be revived and strengthened as well. It is a kind of a restart of a journey which had been temporarily halted for some rest. The second set of companies where new managements are coming in, the immediate problem, before they can get to grow, will be the management of change. This change of management signifies for a lot of people uncertainty, doubts, worry. Some of it may not be justified, anxiety about the new management's philosophy, styles, priorities, whether they will bring in their own people from their parent organization, whether they will wholesale fire people, whether they will suspect of loyalty, trust, reliability of people within. Therefore, this management of change will be a big issue, and this is where management consultants and help. We have a change management model, recognizing that even if the change master coming in has the best of intentions, the normal human psyche is to initially resist change, be unsure and not be warm and enthusiastic. Although theoretically it is correct, it is valid to say that life is full of change, change is the only constant. The best strategy for an individual, a team or an organization, when it is clear that this change is coming and you can no longer put it off, whether it is your fault or not, the strategy is to embrace the change, not just passively, reluctantly, grudgingly live with the change, not even intellectually accept the change but psychologically feel uncomfortable, but actually go through an internal self-transformation. And for example, many supreme employees could take the view that in a way this is God's will, blessing in disguise. The record of Mahindra in tractor, in the cars, in the banking, Kotak Mahindra banking initiative that they have taken, their globalization, are such that here is a team which is competent. Anand Mahindra recently made the statement that his is not a dynastic company. He was a deputy managing director for a long time, but was a professional MD. There's no Mahindra ready to come into the company for quite some time. So the incoming person could be a very positive change for the company. But nevertheless, that's not how people initially feel about it. Therefore, we have to help the management to deal with this initial anxiety and resistance. There will also be a relatively resigned, neutral force which is sitting on the fence, which will simply say that, all right, I have my job for the time being, I have my savings, I will cut back on my costs and live within the budget. Just watch what the new management does. It may or may not work. If it works, I'll stay here. If not, I will go. Therefore, they will not put in not only their body, but brain, heart and soul for some time. Therefore, the new management, with the help of internal human resources as well as external consultants, will have to activate people to take interest, give them information, a lot of communication, sharing of data, new vision, new plans, appreciation of the strengths of the existing organization, and